everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Master Division in the Glenmonarch 9-hole cup. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, so let's go. In this playthrough, I'm going to play with Kingmakers. I'm also going to have some alternative approaches for the par 3s with wind 5-ball. So I hope you're going to enjoy that. Make sure you make a comment in the comment section below if you do have any questions. The drive here, 10% extra from maximum distance. And you can see that I'm choosing a very conservative approach. Why do I do that? Maybe it's because going with max overpower here, even with an apocalypse level 7, will put myself many other times in the rough or in the sand, and that is not something that I do want to risk. The thing that I do want to do is to get as much distance possible to the left side. So I do basically want to be just behind the bunker or something, or like on the right side of the bunker, very close to the rough line there, to be satisfied with it. Reason being is that we're going to go for the rough bump towards the pin. It's a neat approach which needs tweaks, absolutely, I can admit that, but it's a very good approach where we can, if that, get the drive consistent for the times that we're playing in this 9-hole cup and actually give ourselves a good opportunity, I would say, to get it in the hole. This is not going to be an eagle people are going to get, or players are going to get, just because of the wind. If we would be having a tailwind or a crosswind, a tailwind or something like that, then it would have been a must eagle for everyone playing in Master, and I enjoy this, I really do. Rough bump, I'm playing with the Goliath as I do need a lot of topspin, and then in this example I go with 3 bars side spin and I play with, in that case, 6 bars of topspin, or like 5 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right is what I'm going for here. And the thing that I do make a mistake on here is that we do need to have more topspin to be able to compensate for the, you know, the bounce in the rough, as it also is a little bit uphill here, that the ball is going to basically die. So the ball is most likely going to be short here, and the adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 10% under adjustments, -10. If we just would be having more topspin here, or at least a little bit more room to for our adjustment, because we went in between clubs, then we would be fine. So the in between club situation is a problem. Then you maybe already figured out, okay, if I play with a more wind resistant ball and less power, then I can play with a sniper. Yes, you can. That's an option as well. 3 bars backspin, I should be going with a little bit more. I do compensate 1 green square to the left of the pin, and then I play max distance plus 20%. I should have overcompensated a little bit more and used like 1 or 2 bars of side spin to the left to compensate for this approach here. This is a way I play with a cataclysm here because I do want to have the distance. The sniper will be a little bit short, and short with what I mean that you cannot really use the red ring by the rough line. But I would say that if you are not having a cat 7, play with a sniper 10 if you want to play with a power 3 ball. In this example as well, I'm going to play with a similar approach as our opponent, as an extra alternative, which I really feel that for those of you playing with wind resistant 5 balls is something that I feel that you should be doing. I think that is going to be a much better approach, and it's going to be an easier time to get in the hole. But I want to show one with the Kingmaker as well, that when we play with a Kingmaker, we do play with a wood club, and when we do play with a wind resistant 5 ball, then we are going to play with and also with maximum power 2 ball, I would say, wind 5 power 2 maximum, and then we're going to play with a quarterback level 10, and we're going to be playing in minimum distance, and we are going to play the exact same spot. So 5 bars backspin, 1 bar side spin to the left here, and I'm going to aim at the pin, red ring by the rough line, and I give myself a little bit of room there before the pin, and then I'm going to adjust for minimum distance plus 10. So minimum distance plus 10 and not 20. So in this case it's going to be 6.3 rings for a 7.6 miles per hour. Very important that you get the wind arrow correct in terms of pointing straight north, so we're not over or undercompensating for that. 6.3, and then we're going to take our shot with no curl, whatsoever, obviously. And it's going to be a shot and it's going to be very close, I would say, basically all the time. In this case, we get it in the hole, which also is a nice one. Straight at the pin, boom, and we'll take that. So we're gonna go to hole number 3. Wow, this is going to be tough. Max topspin with whatever driver you're having. In this case, I have a POC 7, which is helpful for me. And I play with a power 3 ball here, so it does require max overpower. I'm using 3 bar side spin to the left as well, and then half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left. Coming in very nicely here, and the topspin for sure helps, giving myself a distance here. But the thing that I would like to change here though is that I would like you to play with a power 4 ball wind 3 or power 4 wind 4 if you do have that one. Like the season 10 ball is a power 4 wind 4. We do want as much distance as possible, and we do want to reduce the wind as much as possible for our drive. I initially thought about a berserker ball, but the berserker ball gives us less wind resistance. So in that case, it's going to be a tougher drive, even though we have more distance. So now we got over there to the fairway. We play with a 10% over adjustment, and as you can see, max topspin and 3 bar side spin to the left with max overpower. Second shot, I'm going to play similar. At first I was thinking, should I go with, you know, the ball bouncing through the rough, but nah. I don't know really why I just don't feel good about that. You can play with the ball bouncing in the rough to roll onto the green, but in this case I'm going to use side spin to the left, and I'm going to use a little bit of backspin, was at least the initial plan. We do want the ball to bounce over the sand and get to the green. Tough shot where we'll have to go with max overpower to get there. And this is where a power 4 ball would be so much better to give ourselves the distance and also we do need to make a little bit more side spin to the left here to be able to kick our ball into the pin. So we get to the fairway. I will take that all day and every day with this type of wind, which is definitely going to be a course where a lot of players playing in Master is going to miss that one. Hole number 4, here I'll show you 2 approaches as well, one with a Kingmaker, one with a wind 5 ball. And I would say the Kingmaker approach is very solid. I played that shot once this hole was on tour 12. Yeah, every time in Tailwind. So I have that one dialed in. So for those of you playing in Tailwind, you should play with the Cataclysm. Doesn't matter if you have it in Cat 6 or Cat 5. You should play with the Cataclysm in my opinion. It's going to give you the distance that is needed. Oh, he's coming in hot, but he hits a pin! Get in! Boom! Almost clipped the pin in 2. Awesome. Well done though. It was spot on with the adjustment, so it's straight at the pin. So, our turn. 1 bar topspin with a Kingmaker. 1 bar. And we're going to put ourselves in absolute max distance here. And this is the spot we want. We don't want to move as I do. I move with my target more to the right side. We don't want to do that. We do want to stay more with the yellow ring in center, like basically straight at the pin. Then we're going to play maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. It's going to be 8.8 rings. And then we're going to take our shot. So 1 bar topspin, and the thing that we're going to see here is that the ball is going to bounce nicely in the rough, and even though it looked very wrong with the ball guideline, it's going to take us up there. You can see we bounce in the rough and we roll and we roll and we roll. So we don't really have to rely on the ball guideline here. We do just need to rely on having at least 1 bar topspin on our Cataclysm, which all of you will have. So then I value having a good distance instead. 1.5 bar is the backspin, and I'm aiming for the ball guideline to be showing a little bit to the left of the pin. That is at least the plan when I'm making this adjustment. And I'm playing this one minimum distance plus 10% with the adjustment here. Bouncing the rough and we roll and we're coming towards the pin and we just missed that one to the right. So we in this case don't need that much to the left of the pin, because in the end the more to the right we are, the more the ball guideline is going to show to the left. So we're going to be just giving ourselves a little bit less there, and then we're going to be close towards the hole there. Hole number 5. Here we're going to lay up short, and reason we lay up short is because we do want to approach the pin from distance. This headwind is for sure, you can play straight forward, like straight down the middle and try to get to the top, but that shot is going to be very hard to replicate with your drive. So I do feel that we're going to lay up and then go for pin from distance. 10% extra is what is needed for the drive. Very important, otherwise we're going to most likely go short. For those of you playing with wind resistance balls like power 1 win 5, power 0 win 5, you can play the same drive, get to the same spot, and then you in that case going to basically have an adjustment like our opponent's having here. With the approach towards the pin here though, is that we're going to have to decide, either we're going to go with the rough bump and we approach the pin with around 2 bars of topspin and 1 bar side spin to the left, or we're going to play on the fairway to bounce ourselves towards the pin. Each for their own. You decide what you feel the most comfortable with. I'm just explaining the alternatives for you. Our opponent's trying like a max backspin approach, and that I think is it's not the one to go with. Sure, you can dial that one in as well, but I don't think that's going to be the better one for you to go with. So 11.5, and I'm going to play on the fairway, bouncing myself towards the pin. And here is the part where when we do have a lot of time to practice, we have several qualifying rounds, we have the opening round before the weekend round, then this is the type of things that you dial in, like how much spin can you use. But that's not possible now because you're not having the time to practice that much. And I enjoy that though, because you will have to be a bit innovative when approaching the pin. I'm using 4 bars backspin, and also using, I think I was using like 3-4 bars of side spin to the right. I disclaimer there, I do not remember. And then I approach the pin, but you can see that I'm going very short, and that is because backspin in headwind is going to make the ball basically die. So we'll do have to overcompensate with the spin there and let the ball guideline go very much through the hole. So now we're going to go to hole number 6, and hole number 6 is going to give us an opportunity. It's not going to be an easy one, but it's going to give us one. So I would prefer here to play with a power 4 ball if I could choose, but in the example I will play with a power 3 ball. But otherwise a power 4 ball, win 3 ball would be good. You can also play with a power 5 ball in some sort. And I'm gonna get to why I'm thinking like that after the drive. First, we do need to lay up. I'm using all about 1, so 6 bars topspin combined with as much side spin to the left possible, starting at plus 3 yard mark, and then I'm playing a max distance plus 10%. I'm going to try to get this ball to get as close to the rough line as possible on top, because that will give me a good way to actually get it semi-close towards the pin. So 372 yards, I will take that. But now when we go soon over and going to look at the second shot, and that is where you will see what that benefit that you will have from having a power 4 ball or even better a power 5 ball. The thing that you will have to think of though, that even I have a power 4 ball, but make sure that you have a side spin 3, because you will need to have that one for the approach then. So our opponent is going to I don't know really, it's just going lay up I guess, and try to get as close to the rough there on top. So very nice from our opponent as well. We both made 2 good drives. We get fairly decent, like 5 yards shorter for him, but that's okay. That's a good drive still. Now you can see that in this occasion we're going to have a little bit of tailwind, just a little bit, not much. And here I'm going to try the same type of play as I did do in expert, 2 bars top spin and as much side spin to the right. I'm gonna go max overpower, max curl to the right to try to gain as much distance to then have a straight tailwind shot towards the pin. Push up. Once you are done with your adjustment, you push up, max overpower, max curl, and then try to hit perfect. The thing here now we come back to that, a power 4 ball, like then you would be having more distance, and that would be giving you even down towards a minimum distance thorn or hornet for the approach. But now we're going to have a medium distance short arrow, and that's always a little bit tricky. But here you can see, even though our opponent had 5 yards shorter than us, he still has kind of like the same or even a little bit better position than what we are having. And also the wind is blowing more towards the right, which means that the ball will be kicked more into the right there. And I do see that if, you know, a power slice here is not the option, unfortunately, because we will then get into the rough or into the sand. So I think that we will have to just go with a max overpower shot here, or, you know, I might be wrong. It depends on how much tailwind that we're having. The thing that happens here, though, is that our opponent is going to get this ball into the rough, but honestly, that's actually something that is very well done from our opponent here, getting it very close. And I think this is, while looking through this one once again, that this is going to be the play that we're looking for, that we can, in that case, get our shot very close towards the pin. We'll have to reduce the topspin, though, as we cannot get ourselves into into the rough, because then I would rather have this type of approach. Elevation adjustment, 10% for the drive, nothing for the second shot, and then 10% for the third shot as well. Super important with elevation adjustment, otherwise you're going to have a problem. In this case here, I just slightly missed this shot to the right, which is what can I say? This is very good opportunity, very good, but I just missed that one, unfortunately. Otherwise that would have been a nice one to get. This is a bonus drop, in my opinion, an absolute bonus drop, but the drive needs to be there. And then the second shot is definitely going to be a possibility to get in the hole. So hole number 7, and the par 3. And I'm going to play with 1 bar backspin with a kingmaker here, and that's a little bit too little. I would like to have a little bit more, like 1.2, 1.3, and then I'm using no side spin whatsoever, and going to, in this case, play this shot for being, as you can see here, 11.6. is going to be played for a 20% over adjustment, and I play it in between minimum and medium distance. The thing that we can see here directly is that this ball is coming in very nicely towards the pin, a little bit too much to the left, so we need a little bit more, but we also need to add a little bit of a backspin, then we're gonna be fine. There is a shot here on this one to play with a wind resistance ball, is to play with a power 1 or a power 2 or power 0 wind 5, to play with the quarterback and play it more as towards a max distance adjustment to be able to get there, or like medium distance plus 20 could be an adjustment that is more or less 1-to-1 when it comes to playing with a quarterback with a wind 5 power 0. Still, this is going to be a tough par 3. I see definitely drop possibilities on hole 2 and hole 4. On hole 7 here, I do think we're going to be satisfied with a birdie. We're still going to give it a chance though, absolutely, but I don't think we're going to be there getting a bunch of hole-in-ones on this one. So here you can see the approach with a wind 5 ball. I'm using the yellow ring by the rough, and then I'm using 1.5 bar backspin, and then in the end I'm going to use 2 bars of side spin to the right, and then I remove a little bit because I felt that was a little bit too much, so I went with 1.5, and then I'm playing at medium distance plus 20, which is 1-to-1, so 7.7 rings for 7.7 miles per hour. And have in mind that it might not be 1-to-1 playing with a kingmaker or something like that. I'm playing with a power 0 ball, wind 5, and then it's 1-to-1 with a power 0 ball. Hit the ball perfect, and the ball will bounce just here over the water, and you can see we're coming in with a nice speed, but the problem is that we in that case are coming too much to the right here, and I will have to reduce and just play with like half a bar of side spin to the right. I think that's gonna be Okay, hole number 8, here you play with a kingmaker, here you play with whatever ball you might feel comfortable with doing. The only thing that we want to focus on here is to get the ball up to the fairway part and not go into the bunker there on the top left. So we're just gonna be there, then we have a short iron towards the pin, which is going to be a must. This is a must eagle, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not getting hole 8, then I would say it's going to be a shot lost for you. Max distance plus 10% over adjustment, and then we're going to, once we're done, push our target up to max and go with a little bit of curl to the right to just make sure that we're staying on the right side. I'm using around 6 bars of topspin, 5-6 bars topspin, and max side spin to the right. I just want to lay up here. I don't want to do anything specific, and then we're going to approach the pin here from distance. So, good chance for hole number 8 here. I feel hole number 8, if we're talking about the par 4, is by far, like it's no debate really, is the easiest one to make an eagle on. I don't think there is really anything on the other courses where it's for free. You will have to earn everything. I enjoy that though, I really do, but it's a tough one, and I think that's something, and I hope that will be something for Master Division going forward as well. So our opponent trying to a max backspin shot. I would say in this case with the crosswind that we're having, especially in the crosswind, it's very hard to make a max backspin shot and get the ball to where you want, because you have so many bounces to kind of depend on. So the thing that I would like you to do is to just play it clean. No top, no backspin, no side spin. Aim for the hole and then dial it in from there. In this case, I play this one medium distance plus 0.2. So I aim straight at the hole and I played medium distance plus 0.2. No elevation adjustment whatsoever. Just going to play it as it is. As you can see, I'm playing, instead of 5 rings, I played 5.2 with my thorn in this case, and we're gonna be dropping this one. I've been playing this one very good, which is a nice one to bring forward to actually get some drops here right at the pin, and we'll take that eagle all day and every day. Hole number 9, last but not least, and then I know I'm gonna get some comments asking for, why don't you power hook this shot, Tommy? No, the reason being is it's a very inconsistent one, and you risk the water big time. And so therefore I'm gonna lay up. I'm gonna come back to that just in a little bit. Max side spin, and I'm also using half a bar of side spin to the half a bar of backspin. So max side spin left, half a bar of backspin, and then I'm going to stretch out, adjust from overpowered position. And the thing that I'm gonna do is, once I'm done, I'm gonna push up my target so it gets 9 yards extra. So go from a +3 to a +12. If you don't know what I mean, go back and you can see the plus yardage by your club. And then we're going to go max curl, no overpower obviously, and get it over here. Sure, playing with a power 4 ball here will give you a better time, especially for the approach towards the pin. A power 3 ball here is no problem for you to get the ball to green. Once again, when it comes to the power hook here, the only reason I would suggest you to do that is if you feel very uncomfortable with the safe drive that I'm showing now here. Then you can try to gamble a little bit, because you might still going to be able to read from the rough or from the sand. But I remember the power hook from back in the time, a long time ago now, and so many people dropped it in the water. Yours truly as well. Sure, players have been getting better. But a power hook, when the wind angle isn't completely the same all the time, is a very risky shot to do with so much water there to the left. So from my end, I'm playing it safe. I'm taking the eagle. I'm not expecting any albatrosses here in any form. Max side spin to the left, 1 bar backspin, and we're going to play this one not under adjusted as we did in the Pro and Expert and in Rookie. This one is just going to be played as it is. We're not going to over or under adjust anything. And last but not least, by the hook shot, if you would be getting a good chance for an albatross, which you don't, if you make the hook shot, then I would be going with that as well, or trying to dial it in. But now that's not even the case either. Then there is no point trying to complicate it more than what it is. So getting it over there, nice one, getting it to the fringe, and a safe eagle from here. Definitely going to see some not that low scores to qualify. If you haven't played Master before, this is maybe a good time to try it the first time, because there will be more people playing, more brackets, and therefore the bracket is going to be generally easier. If you do have any comments, make sure that you comment in the comment section below on YouTube. Also, all the content for the Glenmonarch 9-hole cup and also for everything else you can find on golf-tommy.com. Sign up on Patreon to get the updated text, guys. Those will be very valuable going into the final round here in the 9-hole cup. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the tournament.